This is a thinking game. Very subjective. Very up to your own interpretation. And I'm not recording shit.
The Electric Honey Badger.
Greetings, random strangers of the internet. I am the Electric Honey Badger, and welcome to a very relaxing, very somber, very calming game of a Museum of Dubious Splendors. It is a museum exhibition, artsy kind of game. It's very casual, very indie, very artsy. Not a lot of action, just you kind of moving around to art exhibits, which every once in a while is kind of good, you know. I myself kind of like different varieties of video games, so this is a welcomed new type, so to speak. So let's go ahead and start. And we have some text and information right here, but if you want to go ahead and pause the video and read it, you can, because I think it's going to take too much time if I try to read it. So, and right here we have a very simple bit of imagery going on. We have little paper boats just floating around, no direction, just floating around aimlessly into a very velvety world of voidness. There's just nothing out there, just the boats, just the paper boats, and rain that appears to be dropping from nowhere. So we got rain, paper boats, this little moving insignia, and a door that opens by itself. Very, very spooky, and a chair right here for us to sit in case we want to just sit here and just stare off into nothing for the rest of our lives, because god damn it, isn't that the life? You know, if I could stare off into nothing for the rest of my life and just be perfectly fine, perfectly healthy, then, you know, that's life. But unfortunately, real life tends to get in the way, and we got obligations, we got jobs, we got duties, we got college, we got schoolwork, we got just everything. But yeah, just to take this moment and just like stare off into nothingness, but and see little inanimate objects just going about its business, going about its time and space, is very interesting. But unfortunately, I do have a schedule to keep, so I cannot sit here all day. So let's go ahead and enter this doorway to supposedly nothing. And yes, I would like to. Yes, I would like to leave. And here we got ourselves a ginormous Titanic tub of toothpaste. And it looks to be like the Colgate brand of toothpaste, but luckily they decided to remove the brand and instead put some sort of scripture on it. But it still protects you against cavities, so that is the most important part. And, well, you see, whenever I think in terms of art, my hipster liberal arts major side of me tends to arise. So let me just go ahead and just conjure up that side of me so I can better articulate what exactly is going on right in front of me. So, hello. So what appears to be right in front of me fits within the paradigm of cleanliness, because as we all know, toothpaste tends to clean things, in this case teeth. And as we all know, teeth is meant to munch down or divide bits of food into digestible pieces. So what this is, in terms, is a way to cleanse the mechanical process, or cleanse the machinery that chops up the food for us. So in this cleansing model, we could assume that it is telling us that we should be clean in order to better function, because having clean machinery means having a cleaner life. And as you can see, machinery is the thing that makes things work. So in that sense, it fits within the paradigm, as I said, of cleanliness. And as you can examine from the bottle, or the tube of toothpaste in this instance, you can see that it is, as a matter of fact, 100 milliliters E, and it does strengthen and whiten your teeth. So it's everything that you could want in a bottle of toothpaste. And toothpaste cleanses, it cleanses that teeth, and I think it is a very good model of cleanliness. Thank you. Well, glad to get that out of my system. Anyways, let's get the fuck out of this boring room. And we also got some hands reaching out to heaven, but I don't have time to interpret that, so let's leave. And here, right, we have ourselves as a very large old shoe. Are those shoes meant for walking? Is that what they'll do? Is one of these days will these boots walk all over me? I mean, they're not boots, they're shoes, but I mean, I tried to rhyme there, but I'm not really funny. Okay, Yeah, we just got big old shoes, big old brown shoes. You know, my dad has some big old brown shoes, and one time I borrowed those big old brown shoes, and I went out to Oklahoma with my friend. One day, you know, I was hiking with those brown shoes, and my foot got stuck in a rocky crevice, and it kind of dislodged the sole of the shoe, and so I had to remove the shoe, and to this day, it is still stuck out there in the forest, that whole shoe. And I'd like to think that one day it might be found by a future generation of people who no longer wear shoes. Instead, they are brave enough to walk this mighty earth on the soles of their feet. And will say, I wonder what this contraption was used for. Did they actually put it on their feet to walk around? And they couldn't, you know, feel the naked earth on their naked feet. Just an interesting thing to think about. Anyways, let's move on. And it appears right here we have a giant knife in front of us, along with an assortment of fruit or apples, very glossy, and we can't see our reflections because we do not exist. Which is another thing I should bring up about this game, is that we do not exist. We are just a omniscient viewpoint in an exhibition of everybody's arts, or in this case, one person's particular art, or however that's whatever's going on in this game. But it's very interesting because it really tells us that we do not matter. Art is still going to be there long after we're dead. And that's a very comforting thought. And we also have this knife right here. As we know, knives are known for slicing. But this is a pretty dull-edged knife because it is just a statue of a knife. Oh, and it appears to be piercing through this apple right here. Apples, as we know, are things that keep the doctors away. They're things that make us healthy. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. And now here we have fans. Now, this is a thing that I myself do not have in this career path I'm taking, fans. Because fans are very important, because whenever you feel like you're in the heat of the moment, when you feel all heated up, fans are there to cool you down and give you inspiration. I wish I had fans to give me that encouragement, just to cool me down when things seem to be so heated up. But life doesn't work that way. You have to earn your fans. You have to go to Walmart and buy yourself that $20 box fan. Which I did. And it's cooling down my otherwise hot room right now. Very interesting. Just like these fans right here with wooden pedals. Interesting patterns going on here. And by interesting, I mean boring, and I'd like to see something a little bit more interesting. So let's continue. Now, here we have probably an explanation to all of the water that appears to be dripping, because we have faucets here. So maybe what this artist is telling us is that we are in a waterworks or a water facility, hence why the water is dripping from the gray sky. These faucets here, as we know, faucets run water, and water is the essence of life. So this room is about life. And see, look, we even have more of these little paper boats, just so pleasant, and we can just like, see, there's a pool right here, but we're not falling in because, you know, we don't actually exist, as I mentioned. And that's a very interesting perspective to take. So next time you feel like, you know, you don't want to be on this earth anymore, just don't. Just rise up into the sky and just take a bird's eye view and just don't exist. Now here we have more apples, so this person must really like apples. As a matter of fact, the apple is the symbol for the teacher, so what could be said here is that whoever's the artist of all these artifacts is a teacher. And teachers inspire, teachers educate, so I can take this as a very educational experience. And we have some binoculars here. And as we know, binoculars are to seeing things far ahead, so the thing I take from this room, the symbolism, is that we need to look for education far in the future. Or rather, education will help us look to a brighter future, since these binoculars are in fact of a kind of gold shape. They have golden lenses, and I think that's the best way to interpret this room. And we got faces everywhere with just a very polite person just smiling and having a cup of tea. And now we have a room filled with white elephants and a satchel. So What I can take from this room is that the person that was here might have been a part of a safari or a part of a archaeological dig in the Saharan Africa. And boy, those elephants sure look sad. I mean, look at those derpy eyes. And now here we have a giant freaking gun. Woo! That's, okay, it's not loaded, luckily. And, ooh, we can see right through the barrel. And, we got interesting star patterns and eyes and, cars and keys. And, what else? More keys. And, very interesting imagery. Oh! This room's blocked off. Apparently we can't go, so the only option we have is this room, right over here. And it appears right here we have a TV and some pencils, so we got a pretty weird thing going on. Ooh, isn't that interesting? In all seriousness, this kind of reminds me of that one area in Super Mario 64. I think it was for Dire Docks, where it kind of has that weird pulsating gooey blue thing. That was always a weird but also kind of calming effect that I really liked, and this kind of reminds me of that. So, and we got little butterflies. Just everything here is just so nice and quaint. And where's the exit? Oh, we got crows. Look at the crows. That, wow. Whoa. Okay, I did not notice that before. Oh boy. And now we gotta find ourselves the door here. The doorway into... Where's the door? Hello? Huh. Okay. This is a pretty indubiously doobly museum you got here, but how the flying fuck do I get out? Do I fly out? Is that what you're proposing with all these butterflies and those two big ass birds? Is that I just fly out of here? Well, I can't fucking fly out of here. I'm a human or whatever I am. I'm trapped here with all these pencils, these butterflies, this TV right here. So what the hell do I do? What do I do? I can't do anything. I'm out of options. I'm trapped here. What the hell is this? Did you just take me to this museum to trap me? For what? For what purpose? Do you want to trap me? What is your incentive? Just get me out of here. Come on. Okay, seeing as there's no exit here, I think we're going to go ahead and call it quits. Pretty interesting artsy game they have right here. It's free to play on Steam if you want to kind of just relax, just wind down, look at some pretty imagery. Definitely check it out, and I think that'll be it for this episode. Anyways, if you like this video, go ahead and like, sub, and share it with all of your friends. And I will see you guys next episode. See ya.